Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your man Soul here. Welcome back to the channel. You know what it is when you clicked it. Today we are going to be talking about something that's notorious in damn near every single YouTuber community, and that's tier lists. So the thing with tier lists, right? I think tier lists are they're great content. They're fun to look at 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10. They're fun to make. I've made two. I think that I had a pretty good time making them. And for the most part, they're always conversation starters, right? Like when me and a couple of my gaming friends, we get together and we'll watch a tier list on like something in WoW or in whatever game we're watching or thinking about playing. It's always a conversation piece when we see them start tiering out different specs or different classes, because a lot of times tier lists help drive your decision, especially if you're coming up into a new patch. Like using WoW as an example, if you're coming up into a new patch, or in this case we're on the horizons of a new expansion with Wrath Classic, you want to have the information on what should I pick, because class choice and spec choice often are what people are going to judge you on, right? So if you knowingly, or not knowingly, let's say you decide to be a subtlety rogue, right? Subtlety is widely known to be a lower performing spec when compared to the other rogue specs, right? So when you pick that spec because it's F tier on a tier list, another person is going to look at you and assume one of two things. Either A, you're dumb and you just didn't do any research about your class to know that subtlety is bad, or B, you willingly chose to be bad. And those are two really bad assumptions, because what if you just like subtlety? What if you can really perform at subtlety, right? So, and I think tier lists are the root of all of these culmination of assumptions, because really we don't have any other information to judge a person on, right? We don't. Like, gear score is going to come into effect, I'm sure, but even gear score doesn't tell you really much about a person. All you know about a person is the class they picked, the spec they picked, and when you inspect them, the kind of gear they have. You don't know anything about them. So that's why I think people put so much stock in tier lists, because one, they're assuming that the community is watching this tier list and knows what to do and what don't to do, or what to stay away from and what to really put your energy into. But they're not thinking about the real premise of really Wrath of the Lich King in this case, which is take the player, not the class. Now, is that to be said that if you take a subtlety rogue over a combat rogue, right, and they're both equal in skill level, the combat rogue's probably going to do more damage. That can't be changed, right? It's just how those specs work. Combat is a better PvE performer than subtlety, right? But that's not to say you couldn't clear content with the subtlety rogue just because it was lower tier than the combat rogue. And obviously, when you look at tier lists, I don't think I've heard a tier or watched a tier list where the YouTuber hasn't said, hey, this is my opinion. I want you guys to draw up your conclusions or tell me about it in the comments below. Like, I don't think I've not heard a YouTuber not say that, right? But people do it anyway. They're going to look at a tier list and going to say, all right, S tier is good, A tier is good, B tier is okay, C and under, I don't even care about. And if I see somebody who picks a C tier class or who picks a D tier class, they're bad. I don't want to be a part of them, and they don't know what they're doing, right? And I think that's really a bad way of thinking, and it's not the tier list fault, but the reason why I'm putting, like, I guess not the blame really, but the microscope over tier lists is because I see a lot of tier lists, especially for Wrath since it's upcoming, and a lot of the same information is being used. Like, Affliction Warlock is good, Fire Mage is good, Marksman Hunter is good, Fury Warrior is only good in ICC. Frost is bad, BM is bad, Subtlety is bad, Ellie's bad, right? And when you see multiple tier lists with those multiple tiering options, and then you jump on Wrath when Wrath releases and you see an elemental shaman, you're gonna think this motherfucker either don't know what the fuck he's doing, or he doesn't care. He knows what he's doing and he's choosing to be bad, right? So, but in reality, that person could be a good player, and he really might be able to make moves as elemental. But we don't even give them the chance because we done seen 8 tier list videos that said if you see an elemental shaman, you need to slash, point, and laugh at them because they don't know what the hell they're doing. So tier lists, while I like making them, I like watching other content creators make them. I like having conversations about them. The reason why I've staved off of making like tank tier lists and healer tier lists and DPS tier lists is really because I don't want to add to already crowded room. I feel like the tier list making is pretty crowded room, and if you want to make a tier list, you want to kind of do something different, which is kind of why I made the power infusion and the hysteria tier list, because I couldn't really find those tier lists. That's like was a different tier list to me anyway, right? And I didn't want my tier list, like if I made a DPS tier list, I wouldn't want my tier list to give off the wrong impression or repeat or regurgitate the same information and give off the wrong impression, right? Because I'm like, it's no secret that BM, Frost, and Subtlety are pretty low damaging specs. So knowing that, I'm gonna have to tier them lower, and that's just going to add fuel to the already burning fire, right? Like, people already got their pitchforks and their torches out for Prot Warriors. If they see a Prot Warrior in Wrath, it's up for them. Like, and Prot Warrior is considered the worst tank, but that doesn't mean you can go to infinity and beyond with a Prot Warrior in Wrath. Like, look at most of those tank spot videos. Most of them are from Prot Warrior POVs. And they were clearing heroic content and hard mode content just like any other serious guild. So I say all that to say, tier lists, if you're watching tier lists, make sure you're not using them as gospel, but you're using them as guideline. Guideline, not gospel. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below about tier lists. Do you like them? Do you think people put too much stock into them? Do you think people don't put enough stock into them? And also let me know if you want me to make a tier list. I don't mind making tier lists. It's not what I'm saying, but I try to remind people whenever I'm doing anything that's steeped in opinion-based facts, if that's even a phrase, which I think it is, because I think WoW is a game that has a lot of factual information, but that's steeped in opinion, and tier lists I don't think is any different. If you want to see me make other tier lists other than the ones that I put up, let me know in the comments below. But again, tier lists, I think, use them as a guideline. Don't use them as the gospel. And with that being said, you guys have been great. I've been Soul, and I'm out. Peace.